I haven't always had a wonderful workshop studio space like this. I've usually had to, in my past houses, squeeze little spaces here and there in a corner of a kitchen or a living room or a conservatory or something, where I had very little actual space and very little room to manoeuvre, and it made it really hard for me to experiment, work on multiple things at once, to be able to make a bit of a mess, and to be able to be as prolific as I am. I make a lot and lot of work, and so and usually if you're like me, you're painting on canvas. You're buying pre-made canvases, and this isn't one, but it would look roughly like this. So they're quite deep, and some of them have got very deep edges, and they take up space. And so if I'm working on multiple things at once, these are sitting around inside, in corners, gathering dust, getting damaged, and so not everything I produce I think is any good, and I like to let things sit around and gestate for a bit before I decide what to do with them. So and I don't really want them sitting around, and they take up a lot of space like this. So I had to figure out a different way of working that allowed me to work the way I wanted to without it taking over my whole living space. What I came up with is this. I paint on flat canvases that are stapled to a board. So here's an example here behind me. So this is one I'm working on. This is a bit of a blank canvas, and so I buy canvas in canvas rolls. I won't get it down because it won't look great on camera, but I've got a big roll of canvas. It's about I think it's something like 2.5 meters wide, and 10 meters or 10 to 20 meters rolled, and I cut out sections of that in different sizes. I do a bunch at once. I've got a roll of it here, so you can see here's the empty blank canvas, cut in different sizes. You need to, if you're doing this, you need to buy reasonably heavy canvas, that's quite durable stuff. You get this horrible thin papery stuff on places like eBay and Amazon. You need to go to a proper art seller, someone like Jackson's or whatever, not Hobbycraft or or WH Smith's or wherever, one of these cheap art shops. You need to buy decent quality stuff, otherwise it won't stretch properly, it's too thin, it tears, it breaks, it's brittle, it can't handle the medium. You need to invest in something a bit more expensive than that, but it really doesn't have to be very expensive at all. I buy a roll, maybe a roll that big, it might cost me £100, but it gets me many tens of paintings, and really a roll like that costs as much as you'd pay for like 3 or 4, 5 canvases maybe, and I get probably in the range of 20, 30, 40 even out of it, depending on how big I'm doing things. So I cut a load of that out and keep it aside, ready for the paintings I'm going to do. I tend to work in very specific very specific size canvases, largely driven by the available stretcher bars I could get online, and it just so happens that the sort of cheapest, these are available ones at the time, were 8 inches, 15 inches and 20 inches. You can see here's some 8 inches here in this box, and I buy them by the box, and that box of 58-inch bars cost me less than £10. That will be if you work in squares like this, that's 12 paintings for less than a tenner, and then the cost of the other materials. The bigger bars, longer bars will obviously cost you more money, but if you buy them by the box, and if you can buy multiple boxes, the cost really starts to come down.